Hello second grade, so today we are going to work on the symmetrical butterfly, and our learning objectives for this butterfly, what we're learning about is symmetry and how if you cut the butterfly down the middle it's the same on both sides, and also to use geometric shapes. So remember, geometric shapes are shapes that have names: circles, triangles, squares, rectangles. So when I say those names, we're all thinking of the same shape. And so that's what a geometric shape is. A shape with a name, a shape that you usually need a tool to create. So when you're drawing a triangle, if you want a nice, neat triangle, you use a ruler for the sides. For a circle, you would use a compass. So today you get to decide which way you want to put your butterfly on your paper. You could choose to put it on a diamond shape, or you could choose to put it on a square shape. So you get to decide which way. Now, if you choose to do the diamond, see how the wings stick off the sides of the paper. So your butterfly is going to be sticking off the edges of the paper. And if that's okay with you, then do the diamond shape. If you'd rather your butterfly to fit on your paper, even though I did make the butterfly kind of stick off the edges here too, if you'd like it to fit better on your paper, you could do a square. So if you're going to do a butterfly on a diamond, you want to fold your paper in half like a taco. So you want to take one corner and reach it across to the other corner so that when you fold it in half, you get a triangle shape. If you want your butterfly to be more on a square, you take your paper and you fold it in half like a book. Now I cut these papers so they're never even. They never line up. So if you look here at the edge, my edges do not line up, and that's okay. So you're going to draw half of a butterfly because we want to make our butterfly symmetrical. And since I'm right-handed, I always make sure that my crease is on the left-hand side and I'm drawing on the right side of my paper. Same with this one. The crease, the fold is on this side, the opening is on this side, so I'd be drawing on this side of the paper. So when you draw your butterfly, you're going to start with the head, and the head is just a curved line. Now, you don't want to draw a tiny little head. You want your head to fill the space. You want a nice big butterfly to fill the space. So you draw a curved line that starts at the fold and curves around back to the fold again. So if I open this up, you can see here's the crease, and I've started at the fold and ended at the fold. Okay, so now you're going to draw your body. And the body of the butterfly is going to be on the outer edge of the head. It's going to come straight down. And you could actually make it go out a little bit if you wanted a plumper butterfly. And then you're going to bring that line down and curve over to the side edge of your folded paper. If you were doing it on a diamond shape, then your head goes up at the top, make it fill that space and go over to the edge, and then your body will be longer because the paper is longer. Alright, then the wing of the butterfly starts at the top of the body where the body meets the head, and you're going to go up, 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 up towards the top of your paper, top corner, because you want your butterfly to fill the space. You're going to curve straight down along the outer edge of the paper, or you can make it go off. And then you're going to curve back to the middle of the body, middle from top to bottom, about middle, halfway. And then the bottom wing, you start on the outer edge of the wing, come down towards the bottom of the paper, and then curve back towards the bottom of the body. So you have a top wing and a bottom wing. With this one, you would just have a short little line that goes off the paper. You find the middle of the body, from the top to the bottom of the body, find the middle, and you draw a line that goes straight out and then curves up. Then go back to where the line curves and curve down, and then just another short line down here at the bottom. This is your top wing and your bottom wing because they run off the paper when you do a diagonal or a diamond shape. So now we need an eye for a butterfly. I usually draw a curved line, and then I do some sort of curved lines inside. I might just do a row of stripes, or I might do some crisscross lines, and we need one antenna. Okay, on this one, you could do an eye similar to that one, or you could do kind of a cartoon eye if you like, and don't forget an antenna. It'll probably be shorter. Then on the body, I want you to do some sort of shape on the body, some sort of decoration. You could just do stripes. And I like to curve them a little bit so that it makes the body look 3D. Or you could do like half geometric shapes. Remember, one of our learning objectives is geometric shapes. So you could start doing the geometric shapes on the body. You could draw half of a shape, and this would fold over and go to the other side for symmetrical, and that would be more like a rectangle. And you could repeat that over and over again. You could do half of a triangle shape. You could do half of a circle shape. You could do half of an oval shape. And then you need to decorate the wings and make sure you get some geometric shapes on these wings. So you could do circle, square, triangle, rectangle. And I think you should fit about 3 shapes on each wing. That way you're drawing nice big shapes. It makes your life a lot easier if you have a nice big shape that you're coloring in and that you're outlining. If you draw tiny little shapes and you draw a bunch of them in the wing, then you make more work for yourself. So to save you some time, if you limit yourself to 3 nice big shapes in each wing, the top wing and the bottom wing, that's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of headache. Okay, and so now for the bottom wing, 3 more shapes. If you want to do hearts or stars, those are shapes that have names. You could do those as well. And since I kind of broke this one up, maybe I do 4 shapes. Okay, and then you would do the same on these wings. So now that you have half your butterfly, I'm going to open up my paper to show you. See how the butterfly touches that center fold. And half the body and the head touch that center fold. That's very important. Then you're going to use a black crayon to trace over your pencil lines. And when you trace, you need to press hard with the black crayon. If you don't press hard and make a black crayon mark and you do more light so then it looks almost gray, that's not going to work. You need to press hard. Hopefully not break the crayon. I tend to break my crayons when I'm pressing hard. But push down hard, try not to break the crayon, and trace right over your pencil lines very carefully and neatly. So this part you're going to go slow at. Because if you don't trace your pencil lines and you miss a pencil line, then you can't erase it because it's going to smear the black crayon. Now you're going to open up your paper. You're going to open it up nice and flat. And then you're going to fold your paper going the opposite direction. So you're going to fold where your butterfly is on the inside of the paper now. So before your butterfly was on the outside, now when you open up your paper, your butterfly is on the inside of your paper. And you're going to use a wooden ruler to rub. So I'm going to stand up and you're going to hold the ruler down by the edge of the ruler. You're not going to hold it in the middle. You're not going to hold it like this. You're going to hold it close down to the bottom. I like to put my thumb down there. And you're going to push and rub back and forth over your butterfly. And the reason you stand up is so that you can use your arm muscles and you can press hard. You don't want to do the middle of the ruler and just kind of rub back and forth. That's not going to be hard enough. Also, if you press too hard and your hand's in the middle, you would break the ruler. You also don't want to hold it like this because that's not going to work. You have to hold it down at the bottom, put your thumb down there for some leverage and some pressure, and you're going to do short strokes. You can't just go across like this because that's not enough pressure. Now, if you pressed hard enough with your black crayon and you rub hard enough with your ruler, this will transfer very nicely to the other side of your paper. And you can see through your paper where the black crayon is, so you know where to rub. And I just usually start at the top of my butterfly and I just work my way down. So the top of my butterfly is here, and I'm working my way down to the bottom. Now, when you open it up, you'll see that it transfers. And I didn't purposefully rub right here because I wanted to show you. If you rub and it doesn't transfer, if you put enough black crayon over there, you can fold it back up and just rub in that spot that you need to rub and it will transfer. But if you didn't press hard enough with your black crayon, no matter how hard you push, it will not transfer. But I did a real nice job with the black crayon so that it transfers to the other side, and now I have a perfectly symmetrical butterfly. And then the next step is to trace this left side of my butterfly very carefully and heavily with the black crayon so that the black matches on both sides, so that it doesn't look grayish over here and black over here. You're going to go over it very slowly and heavily, so that when you are finished, it should look the same on both sides. It's very important that it's similar. Now I need to flip my butterfly over and use a pencil and write my name and the day I have art. Day A, day B, day C. And now you're ready to paint. So when we paint today, you're going to get yourself 2 manila placemats. so that you can stretch them out and they will fit on your butterfly. If you only have one placemat, your butterfly reaches the top and the bottom of the paper, and when you paint here, you're going to get paint on the table. So we're going to make these stretch a little bit so that they fit. You're going to use a watercolor tray and a water basin and a paintbrush. And the teeth at the bottom help me to clean my paintbrush off. So with watercolor, you need lots of water and a little bit of paint. Some of the paints look like they might be empty. Like this purple looks kind of empty, the green looks empty, and this brown is empty. This brown is definitely empty, but I can still get paint out of the purple and the greens. So what you're going to do is pick a color, and you want to put a puddle of water on that color. So I dip my paintbrush in the water, and then I pull the bristles against the edge of the oval, and that gets the water out of my bristles and onto the paint. So it sits there like a puddle. And I'm going to do that on a couple of different colors just so that I can soften them up and get them ready to go when I'm ready to use them. Now if your yellow's messy, you can take your paintbrush and you can rub that messiness off, rinse your paintbrush off, rub it again, rinse your paintbrush off, rub it again, and eventually as you do this, it will turn yellow and that messy green will come off there, or whatever color you might have on your yellow. Okay. So now you are expected to paint your butterfly symmetrically. So the same on both sides. So if I use this blue-green color on this circle, and remember you should be painting the water, not the paint. So this should be a light, watery color. It should not be a dark, soupy, thick paint color. So once you paint that circle blue-green, you have to paint the other circle on the opposite side blue-green because we're doing symmetry, same on both sides. I'm going to rinse my paintbrush off, and I use this red-violet color to paint this oval, and then I'll paint this oval red-violet. Another good idea might be to use yellow in the beginning when it's nice and bright and vibrant. When your water gets ugly brown color, your yellow tends to not be bright, so you might want to use your yellow while you have a nice fresh water basin. Now as the water sits on this color, the color will get softer. Now these shapes that are in the middle, I paint both sides to make it symmetrical. Okay, so here's an example of a really dark color. So my paint is way too wet, and I've painted that way too dark and not enough water. So I'm going to use my paintbrush to move some of this paint over to the other circle. Because if I leave this on here this dark, this may stay sticky always. It may never dry, and I want it to make sure that it dries so that other papers don't get stuck to mine. So I just rinsed my paintbrush off and got some plain water on it, and I'm using it to kind of scoop some of that red off there and move it somewhere else. Okay, and so then the last thing I need to do is pick a color for the background of the wings, and I could do my top wings the same color, my bottom wings a different color, I could do them all the same color. It's really up to me, I'm the artist. Now if you're not careful, your colors could bleed together and kind of all run together, so if you don't want that to happen, you need to be real careful when you're next to the black crayon that you don't accidentally cross over the black crayon. And the very last thing you're going to do is you are going to paint the entire background, all one color. So whatever color you want to paint the background, blue, black, green, you probably want to pick a color you didn't use much of on your butterfly. I like that light blue, so I'm going to paint over it with the dark blue. You're going to paint all of the edges of your paper. So if you have a nice big butterfly, it's not a lot of space to paint because your butterfly takes up most of the paper. But if you drew a smaller butterfly, you're going to have quite a bit of background to paint. You do have a lot of background to paint. You don't want to pick a color of paint that you don't have much in there. So I wouldn't want to pick this light green or this purple if I don't have a lot of it to do a background if I had a lot of background to paint. Okay, and there you have your finished butterfly. You're going to close up your watercolor tray and put that back on the counter. You're going to take this back next to the sink and you're going to put this on the drying rack. Good job, second grade.